there were a lot of people on Instagram that posted questions for me to ask you, and a lot of those, I don't know, I suppose they're quite kind of trivial on the big scheme of things, or like curious, like music related, pop culture related about the outside world versus Gloriavale. So I thought maybe we'll get them done first, and then we'll unpick some of your story. Someone said, if you were writing like an outside survival guide for people leaving Gloriavale, like what would be some of the key things in it? So like an instruction manual. So they drop you off at the bus stop. They tell you you're going to spend the rest of your life burning in hell. What would have been helpful information to have?
I think more like money management, and then just like social skills, knowing like how to introduce yourself and that sort of things, just how to have a conversation with someone.
What do you mean?
In there, you only had conversations with people you've ever like grown up with, and you don't introduce yourself to anyone or say hello or things like that. And money wise, I only had ever seen a $5 note before leaving. I didn't know what $200 meant in the scheme of things, and knowing how to go to the supermarket and things like that. Choosing what to have for dinner, like that sort of thing. It's probably just the really everyday life sort of stuff.
Does it take you long once you leave Gloriavale to get your head around that stuff?
I mean, you learn the hard way for a lot of it. Like, it's trial and error. But I think just a lot of it comes down to being able to make choices. And if you can learn that skill, then everything else becomes easier. Yeah.
There's some stuff in the book that you only sent it to me yesterday, so I haven't read the whole thing. I've just had a flick through, but some of it's it sort of touches your heart. It's kind of cute in a way. It's like you leave Gloriavale, they give you $200, and you think you're rich.
Yeah,
then you get to Auckland and you realise, okay, $200 ain't going to get me far.
Nah, pretty much.
I love that.
Yeah.
Someone else said, what are the most positive and most negative things you learned from growing up in Gloriavale? Is there anything good about it?
Probably more like the life skills stuff. But then also just, I think my favourite thing in Gloriavale was like being a child and being in nature and like the bushwalks and like that part of it. I don't think I would have gotten through my childhood if I didn't have the nature around me to like disappear into the bush for a few hours. That's probably the best thing and the thing I miss most about like the West Coast. Yeah.
That's quite telling, eh? So it's more like scenery based really than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And when you disappeared in the bush for a few hours, what was that for? Like just to process thoughts or?
Yeah, process thoughts and like I did a lot of writing and reading, and just sleeping as well. Like you couldn't, and just peace, like a moment just to realise, I don't know, like process things and hide from the meetings on Sunday.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Sorry, Theo, can you bring your mic a bit closer to you? Wonderful,
Thanks, Jess. From Instagram, what did Theo know about the outside world?
That it was a bad, evil place and that everyone was going to hell. That was pretty much it.
Is she still religious?
I believe in a higher power. I believe in like the universe and the environment and connecting to nature, but that's about it.
So if there was
not religion.
So if there was a scale and there was like religious, agnostic, atheist, where would you be?
Probably in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Within Gloriavale, what do people say about those that have left? So when you're in there and someone leaves, like, does everyone sort of gossip about them? Does everyone talk about them? Do they pray for them?
Like the word goes around that people have left and it's like they've damned their souls to hell and they didn't have like faith in God and they didn't trust the leaders. And pretty much you just think that they've gone, like they've disappeared. Like I remember when my best friend, when I was 11, her whole family just disappeared and you just think that she's gone to hell and that's all. and that's that. And then, like, they have burnings, like, when I was younger, that you'd have to burn any, like, thing you had, like, photos or anything to do with them. Like, their names can't really be mentioned again. It's like they never existed.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not aware that it's happening. So your friends don't say, "Hey, in the next couple of days I'm going to be leaving."
Not always, no.
Ah.
You don't tell anyone, because then you could be stopped.
How did you know it was the right decision to leave?
I knew from, like, the age of 14 that I had to get out of there. But I think when I got to 18, it was just, like, a lot of questioning, and then I pretty much got told I had to sign the commitment or leave. So that was the last thing, last straw.
Yeah. Again, these are the questions from Instagram. We're just scratching the surface on some of the
Yeah.
stuff, and we'll get into that in more detail when we get through these. Some of these are quite serious, but some of them are quite trivial. So once we get through these, we'll go through your story in sort of a more chronological order. Who decides the baby names? Do mothers get a say? 'Cause what's your name? Honey.
My name, was
Honey
Honey
Faithful.
Faithful. Yeah. The parents choose them, but they have to be biblical, and then they have to run them past the leaders first. Yeah.
And so where did Theophila come from? Theophila Pratt.
When I was 16, I changed my name in Gloriavale, and it had to still be religious, so I came up with Theophila. It came from a cow, to be honest.
What do you mean?
I was illegally milking cows with my cousins down at the dairy, and one of the cows' names was Theophila, and then I just remembered that when I was going to change my name.
Right. So Honey Faithful is a great name. It sounds like it could be a pop star.
It sounds like it could be a stripper's name.
A stripper's name. I wouldn't know about that sort of evil stuff.
It didn't work. I mean, having that sort of name in there, all the guys just hit on you, and, like, I don't know, there was just like a mocking thing in terms of, like, women, and having that name, it was, like, confusing, and, like, a lot of bullying related
really?
to it. Yeah, by men and, like, boys my age. Yeah.
What is the typical day for a Gloriavale woman? Or for you, I suppose, like a young woman, like a teenage girl.
Yep. Probably waking up at 4:30 to 5 and either going to work on one of the teams. So it could be going to make the bread for the community, so like 100 loaves, and then going to school, finishing at like 2:30, back to work, and then finishing maybe at 7 at night. Yeah. Starting again.
Seems to be a life with, like, very little joy. It feels like it's a life with sort of like purpose and structure and discipline, but maybe very little joy.
No joy and no, like, moment to, like, have a laugh or have a conversation with the person next to you. It's like just go, go, go. Because if you have a moment to think, then you might start questioning.
Were there none of those moments that you can, like, even snapshots where like you're having a laugh or a happy moment with?
There is a few moments,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's like moments of things that could get you in trouble. So, like, running away and, like, going into the bush and, like, that sort of thing. But it was always on terms that it was against the rules.
Yeah, you mentioned before that you were illegally milking Theophila, the cow. What happens when you break the law of Gloriavale?
You'll end up in a shepherds and servants meeting on a Sunday afternoon and questioned, and, like, you'll be sent into a room with, like, 12 of the leaders and questioned for a few hours.
For a few hours?
Yeah.
And the leaders are all men?
Yeah, all men, and sitting around in a circle, and you're sent in.
What sort of age?
All 40s to 70s.
Right. So you're a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And are they raising their voices? Or?
Oh, 100%. Like, raising their voices. They all take turns at, like, screaming at you or yelling, questioning you. And you just sit there and wait for it to end. And then you have to sort of come to an agreement at the end that you're going to do something to show that you're going to submit to them. So it could be apologising, or it could be you get put out. Like, I was put out a couple of times.
What does that mean?
Could mean a range of things, but when I got put out, I was sent to work in the sewing room every day when I was 15, and like I wasn't allowed to talk to any girls my age and not allowed to attend things that everyone else attended. So just went to the sewing room every day, sewed, then went home. Yeah.
So when you're in trouble, when you break the law,
Yeah.
break as in milking a cow, say that happens on a Wednesday. Are you just waiting until Sunday for the disciplinary meeting?
Sometimes you're like, oh, is it going to happen? Or sometimes if it's serious, you'll get called into like a meeting that night. So like if someone from the outside that's left comes in and you're seen talking to them, I was called into a meeting at like 2 a.m, woken up and was in a meeting with the leaders for a few hours and then to work at 4. So it can happen at any time. They can be knocking on your door at midnight.
What's the anxiety like leading up to these meetings? Like if you know a meeting's coming, are you shitting yourself?
Yeah, shitting yourself and disappearing. Up to the bush, hiding, hoping they don't find you.
That's why you're like you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know you're eventually going to have to face the music.
You do. You know you are. You just, I guess, hope that someone else does something bad so they take over. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I can't imagine how stressful that is. Does it get easier though? Like those telling offs, you're like, oh, I'm in trouble again. It's another one. Whatever. Yeah.
You sort of just like, oh well. Yeah, and you sort of learn the lines that they like. So you learn the lines that will get you out of it. So you learn to like say sorry and say what they want you to say. So you just keep them in rotation and get through it and carry on. Say praise God and bless your brother and hope that does the trick.
Say all the right things and then just go back to milking the cows illegally.
Yeah, pretty much.
A good friend of mine, Clint, he's a very funny guy. He said, did she have a good role in the concert or was she put in the background?
Oh, no, I didn't have any role. Nah.
Why? Were you too much of a renegade?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Was that like a privileged position to get a role?
100%.
Yeah.
Only the chosen.
How much prep went into those concerts?
Months, like 6 months before the concert, like months and months of prep. Making all the costumes, long hours, yeah.
Was that a good position to have because it's I suppose a bit of joy?
Yeah, it was fun because you're doing something different, and you're excited about who's going to turn up at the concert.
Were you not motivated to change your evil ways to get a spot?
No, and I couldn't think of anything worse than representing Neville Cooper.
Yeah. Someone you might know, her Instagram name is Mans Dalton, says, I went to school with Theo. I don't have a question. I just want her to know that she's an inspiration.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, great. I think, yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. Since you've been out, so what is it now, like 8 years? No.
Yeah, it'll be 9 years next month. Yeah.
How many conversations have you had where people have yelled at you?
Not many. Might be the other way around. No.
Are you yelling at Kevin, your partner, maybe?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
No.
But it's strange though, isn't it? Because this is all you know, and this is what you think life's all about, and then you get out there and you realise that it actually isn't.
No,
It's
exactly.
very abnormal.
I often I'll be waiting for someone to yell, and it doesn't happen. It's like, oh, it's not normal.
Like, in what sort of circumstances? Like, can you think of any that come to mind?
Probably more just like within the work life and like, I don't know, in stressful situations that you expect people to lash out at you when they're stressed.
Oh, and just when you make a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
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 I'm pleased you don't have to put up with that anymore.
Yeah, same.
What has changed for her in the past year or so since the Escaping Utopia documentary came out?
I think it's been a great conversation starter, but it's been a journey, and I guess I still just keeping on thinking about my sister in India, and like lots of people asking me about how that's going.
Yeah, there were a few questions about that on Instagram, but yeah, we're going to get to that later. Biggest struggle after leaving Gloriavale?
just the self-confidence and knowing where you fit in and knowing who you connect to and, like, what is life and knowing what you believe in.
Yeah, I can't imagine that because it must feel like, yeah, 'cause so you were born there, you leave at 18, so you leave as soon as you become an adult. So you're having these adult conversations with people, and you must just feel like, I don't know, like you just can't relate to what's going on, and you really struggle to fit in.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of, like, while I was studying, like, knowing where to fit in. I didn't know what half the conversations were about. A lot of Googling. A lot of wearing, just trying to fit in.
Yeah, a lot of wearing what?
Wearing what's that brand with the ears? Now I can't even think of it.
Oh, Playboy?
Playboy. I took a Playboy towel to a Christian camp and had no clue what it was.
Oh, because
It's funny now, but
Playboy was popular for a while. Was that like the peak sort of popularity thing when you came out of Gloriavale?
nah, someone gave it to me. I
Right.
think they did as a joke, and I thought it was cool, and I took it to a Christian camp.
Besides family and friends, does she miss anything from her Gloriavale life? You may have covered off that before with the scenery.
Yeah, not really. Nothing.
How frequently do people leave, and does everyone else in Gloriavale gossip about them? I feel like we covered off that last bit earlier. But hey, how frequently do people leave?
When I left, it was every 6 months or so, every year. But now, like, pretty much every day, there's someone leaving.
Wow, do you know what the population is there now?
Still must be like 500 something.
Right.
Yeah.
Theo left Gloriavale in 2016, which was peak Bieber fever. Did she know who Justin Bieber was?
Absolutely not.
Really? No. So, yeah, what were you... Okay, so when you were in there, so 15, 16, 17, 18 until you left, what were you aware of in terms of pop culture and music?
I knew of the Kardashians. But
How? Like, what did you know about
pretty
them?
much nothing really, but like just photos of them. Like, I don't know, would look through all the magazines and like all like the modelling stuff and would look through the pictures that way.
What magazines? Like when you're in Greymouth for a visit, or
No, like would get all the old newspapers and go through them, and just like when we're lighting the fire at 3:30 in the morning, just scroll through, rip papers out. Yeah.
So, and in terms of music,
Nothing. We like had the illegal like wiring radios together, and like listened to a few like songs, like Katy Perry songs, but other than that, not really anything.
Yeah. So, what radio did you listen to? I would have been on the radio when you were in
Yeah,
Gloriavale.
I think you were.
Yeah.
I think the Edge and that sort of stuff, and then like sports. Like I remember when the All Blacks played, and like when I was making cheese, I had a guy come and tell me the score, and I'd write it in the cheese book for the World Cup.
Right in the cheese book. Why?
The score of the All
Right.
Blacks game, I don't know. I just
Right, is
did it.
the cheese book like a diary, or
Yeah, well, like when I made cheese, we'd have to record like all the acid and what we did, how much milk, and at the bottom I'd just like write messages.
just for yourself?
Yeah,
Like a diary,
And then
then?
I always thought that because other people they'd be kept in the kitchen, and I always thought like it would be cool once I left, the other girls getting to read it, seeing if I left them any messages, like I don't know, to make them think about where they live.
I've never been to Gloriavale, and I've never been to prison either. But like what you're describing sounds worse than prison.
Yeah, a little bit.
First time she had McDonald's or KFC?
First time I had KFC, I went through with like a drag queen.
What?
Went through the drive-through. Like it was a friend, like a friend of a friend. They were like, "Oh, well, I'll take you to KFC," and then they were telling me about their life and yeah.
So this is after you left Gloriavale and were living in Auckland?
Yeah.
And what were your thoughts on KFC?
So overrated. We had it in Gloriavale. It was like Neville Cooper's biggest thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
He
Oh, so okay, so you'd already had KFC.
yeah.
Yeah. What about McDonald's?
I think we used to go through the drive-through
Mm.
for the 50-cent ice creams, but I didn't know what it was because we never went in.
Mm. And shops like Kmart or Briscoe's?
Nothing. There's no shops in Greymouth.
Yeah.
No.
No, but the first time you went to one of those after leaving Gloriavale.
Yeah. I think it was all just a blur. Like Sylvia Park was my closest mall. It was overwhelming, but
Yeah, that's
exciting.
massive. Yeah. Sylvia Park is probably like about the size of the whole Gloriavale compound.
Yeah.
Does she have any favourite swear words now?
Just the F word.
Did you ever swear in Gloriavale?
Oh,
Or did you know those words? Or does anyone use
not those words, but like saying shit was like the worst thing ever.
Mm. And if someone overheard you, you'd get in trouble for that? Right.
Yeah.
Right. What was the coolest little things you found out after you left?
I don't know.
There's nothing after you left that like just
Blew my mind.
blew your mind, really impressed you?
I just think like everything in a way, but like just that women could have an education and like that women were CEOs and like running the place. Like that sort of blew my mind.
Did that seem like fathomable to you? And
100%.
That's such a cool answer.
Yeah,
That's
like
really
that
cool.
sort of thing, like literally, and that I could do that
Mm.
if I wanted.
And here you are. You got a degree.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't think I can just emphasise enough just how cool that is. So you had sort of limited education while you were growing up.
Yeah.
And then you leave at 18. You don't know anything about the outside world, and you've accomplished so much in the last 8 years since you've been out. It's really cool. Hope you're proud of yourself.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
proud of myself.
What was the first movie she saw after leaving Gloriavale?
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad one. Did you enjoy
not
it?
bad. You loved it.
5 stars.
Yeah.
But then again, you had nothing to compare it to, so-
Exactly. Yeah.
First concert she went to.
Pink.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Your friend, Rosie Overcomer, who I had on last year, she said Pink as well. Did
Oh,
you go
sure.
together?
Nah.
No. Why did you like Pink?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, she's a very good performer. That sets the bar very high for other concerts.
I love Sam Smith though. I've been to all his concerts in New Zealand.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? What's the appeal with Sam Smith?
Just being different and being who he is. Like just him being himself.
Yeah. In terms of technology, what was the hardest things to learn? Like, is it weird when you first get a phone?
Very weird. I think I used all my minutes up like on the first day. I don't know who I was talking to. But yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Someone wanted to know about clothes and fashion. Like, I suppose what they mean is when you wear the same blue dresses your entire life and that's all you know, when you can start making clothing choices for yourself, what do you get? You're wearing jeans today. That's not allowed.
It's a step up. Yeah.
Are jeans comfortable?
Oh, so comfy.
No, but I mean when you go from not wearing jeans your entire life to wearing them for
think-
the first time as an adult.
I think there's a power in wearing jeans as a woman. Like for me, I mean, I talk about it in my book. Like, I think it just gives you like a sense of control, and like, I'm wearing men's clothing, but it's not. And just I just find a power in it.
And in the beginning, when you started like wearing jewelry, have you got your ears pierced or anything?
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
your ears pierced. When you got your like piercings and your tattoo, like was there like a default sense of guilt or anything?
No,
No.
not at all. No,
Just felt-
tattoos are addictive.
Hey?
Yeah,
When you're getting them, does it sort of feel like the middle finger in a way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Hey, that's great. Thanks for answering those Instagram questions.
all good.